Recently, Taco and I went on a road trip and stayed at the fanciest place we've ever been to and probably ever will go to. It was a historic Japanese inn called Yakushi Onsen Hatago, and it was located in the mountains of Asuma in Gunma Prefecture. Now, we are starting off this video strong with some b-roll clips of the hotel atmosphere while I tell you exactly why this hotel is so insanely cool and special. This place feels more like a mini historic town than a hotel. It has 7 traditional thatched roof houses. One of these houses was built by Shoji Hamada, who is considered a living national treasure in Japan for his work in Mashiko pottery. The house was originally built 2 hours away in Tochigi Prefecture, and it took 2 years to fully relocate it onto the hotel grounds. Some of the buildings had entire museums, but we'll get to that later because let's start with check-in in the lobby. The whole theme of this place was to give old Japan vibes, and it delivered. Like, look at this decor. I would honestly love to live here. Anyway, while we were waiting for our room to be prepared, we decided to take part in an old style Japanese printing experience where we got to make ink-lined writing paper. And after inking up the stone to the best of my ability, I probably put too much, we pressed the paper into it with this tool. And participating in this old craft just further immersed us into old Japan. And here was the final result. As you can see, I was very proud. Anyway, after our ink experience, it was finally time for the moment of truth. Our room was ready. Our room was located in a separate building from the lobby, and when we first entered, we were immediately greeted by some antiques because, again, this hotel is decorated with antiques from all over Japan, even in the individual rooms. Every room in this hotel has different furniture and decorations. I very excitedly got to filming the antiques and was on cloud 9. I had never been in a hotel this interesting before. By the way, this hotel is a ryokan, which means traditional style Japanese inn. It costed 53,659 yen for the night, which is about $400 USD, and that's kind of standard price for a ryokan with an onsen. It includes the gourmet dinner and breakfast as well. We were actually able to stay here only because Taku got a big discount from his job. Yay, job perks. Included in the antiques was even the Showa or 80s style phone. Oh, and another thing I love about ryokans is that they almost always leave you with tea and local snacks in the room. Gunma is famous for these sweet black beans, so they had sweet black bean sweets, which were delicious, by the way. So the antiques and stuff were nice and all, but the absolute highlight of this room was in the bathroom. Yep, that's a wooden bath with a nature view and a tap connected to real onsen water. Real onsen water is different than regular water, by the way, because it's from a natural hot spring, which usually contains healing properties and minerals that are good for your skin and stuff like that. There was also a public and private onsen in this hotel, but that is another thing that we will get to later. Next to our private onsen was a little outdoor porch with slippers that we could use. And lastly, in this massive room was the toilet area. Here they had a few amenities, including entire skincare routines for both men and women. And alas, the famed Japanese toilet with all of the toilet buttons you could ever want. And on that note, let's go down to dinner. Outside there was a full moon sunset combo, which was so breathtaking that it would have been rude to not share it with you. No idea what I just said there, but I think I was just really happy to be walking around the beautiful snowy grounds again with the insanely surreal sunset. On our way to dinner, we got slightly sidetracked by one of the museums. Museums were unmanned, by the way, and all of them were free, so you could just walk right in. It seemed like we were the only ones at the hotel at this point because there was just no one around anywhere. It was like we had the place to ourselves, a private museum, which was nice. Kind of felt like we were Okane Mochi. Anyway, here's what the inside of the museum was like. After being totally enamored by more Japanese antiques for a bit, we, only slightly late, made it to dinner, which was in the building with the lobby. Sorry I didn't film much of the dinner because I ended up getting really distracted by stuffing my face. I usually prefer to eat vegan, but unfortunately most ryokans do not accommodate dietary restrictions. Some do, sometimes you get lucky, but this was not one of them. Anyway, even better than the super fancy dinner was what we did after. We rented the hotel's private bath, which was only about 2,000 yen for 1 hour, and it was half indoors, half outdoors, which felt so good with the fresh winter air and the hot bath. And after that, we were super tired and ready to crash, which was great because our beds were already made for us when we got back to the room. Sadly, our night ended, but luckily our time at the hotel did not. The next morning, we went down to breakfast. While we were waiting to be seated, we got to check out a pottery exhibition by the son of Shoji Hamada, the living national treasure guy. And when we were finally seated, we were met with this beautiful full setup of a traditional style Japanese breakfast in our own private room, just like we had for dinner. Japanese style breakfasts are so healthy and delicious. There's a lot of fermented veggies and miso soup, some yogurt with fresh jam, and this stewed radish, which was really good. Once breakfast was over, we explored the grounds a bit more. There we came across something really cool and interesting.
This is the seven gongs, which is famous in the Edo era to the Meiji. Each of the gong has something related, like business or study, and each of it you have to ring once and you can pray each, and one you like the most you can ring 3 times.
There were also statues of gods scattered throughout the grounds where you could pray for certain things. I think this one was for wealth, but I'm not 100% sure. They also had an actual shrine inside of one of the buildings. Here we said a prayer and got our fortunes. The omikuji or fortunes were on the honor system, which is the case in a lot of shrines and temples. So here you just pull the stick out of the box and match the number on the stick with the number on the drawer, and that's where you'll find your fortune. I was having a bad luck streak with omikuji this year, so I was really hoping to get a good one here. But as you can see by my face, no luck again. But the good thing about omikuji is that even if you pull bad luck, you don't have to take it with you. You can fold it up like this and then tie it on the tree at this temple or shrine to leave your bad luck behind. Not pictured is how much I struggled to tie this without ripping it. So after I relinquished my bad luck, we explored the rest of the building. Not only was there a shrine, but there was an antique toy museum. Toys were collected or donated from throughout Japan from different time periods. This was one of my favorite parts of the hotel. And after the toy museum, it was time to go back to our normal, non-luxurious lives. Anyway, as always, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more Japan things, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!